May the blessings of the gods be upon you, O great King Alexander. You are the ruler of the mighty Greek nation. Your people lived for so many years in isolated city-states, legendary cities such as Athens, Sparta, Thebes, where they gave the world many great things such as democracy, philosophy, tragedy, art, and architecture, the very foundations of Western civilization. Although few in number and often hostile to each other, in the 5th century BC they were able to defeat their much larger neighbor, Persia, on land and sea. Alexander, your people stand ready to march to war, to spread the great Greek culture to millions and to bring you everlasting glory. Are you ready to accept your destiny, King Alexander? Will you lead your people to triumph and greatness? Can you build a civilization that will stand the test of time?
Okay, we rolled Alexander of the Greek Empire. They are a fairly strong civ, maybe not the top tier, but they are certainly capable of winning a game. They have two pretty good early units, both the hoplite, a improved spearman, and the companion cavalry, a improved horseman. So if we want to take advantage of them, we might have to get pretty aggressive in the early game. They are the real powerhouse part of the Greek Empire, though, is their bonuses with city-states. Their city-state influence degrades at half and recovers at twice the normal rate, meaning that they are very capable of gaining city-states as allies and keeping them. Also, not written here, but my units can also heal in city-state borders as if it was my own territory, I believe, but they can pass through city-states without angering them. Let's see our start. This is a really ridiculous amount of sea resources. This does happen sometimes. Not usually that many, though. Crab is good. It's on par with whales as sea resources. And better than pearls, I think, which have one less food and one more gold, and a possible religious tenant to use, or a pantheon to take advantage of, but I prefer to have the extra food. Let's see, this is a flatland jungle, plains, so I might consider moving onto this hill, definitely not moving off the coast. Let's see what we have. Yeah, I will move on this hill and settle in my second turn. Let's see who else is in this game. Oh, we do not know until we meet them. That is a difference between single player and multiplayer. If it was a multiplayer game, we would know what every other person had. Let's go. You might also notice that things might look a little bit different than if you were using a vanilla Civilization game. In addition to the No Quitters map and mod, I am using the Enhanced User Interface mod, which tidies things up quite a bit and presents things in a way where you can get at a lot of information a lot quicker without having to go through a lot of sub-menus and other ways to get at it. Before settling, I'm just going to move my unit again, see what there is. Good, a ruin. Settle. Athens, I will be using the production focus trick where I manage the city's tiles myself with a production focus so that when I grow in 5 turns from population 1 to 2, that new tile will be worked on the same turn that I grow to it, meaning that if I had default focus, it would probably go to a food, but it wouldn't gain anything. But by popping onto the hammers, my production is calculated after the food has already gained me a new population. So I will start with a scout, choose my research. I usually like opening with pottery, especially to get at a shrine if I want to attempt any chance at a religion, although in Deity and even Immortal single player that is usually quite difficult versus the AI. My first opponent, Maria Theresa of Austria.
Heißt Eure Eminenz willkommen in... Ach, bringen wir es hinter uns. Um 4 wird gespeist.
Maria is also very prone to using city-states, although her special ability, after she allies them, she can spend gold to actually bring them into her own empire. It's pretty powerful if it's used. I haven't used her that much, but I do know that if she buys a city-state, she gets all the units, and it's basically as if she took it over without any of the penalties. Oh, good. I got a free population. This isn't very strong right now because I don't have. The only food tiles I'm working are fish. This will be a little bit slow, but once I can get out fishing boats and a lighthouse, those tiles will be very, very good. Seems there's a river up there. I wasn't sure if that was city-state borders, but let's continue exploring away from Maria. There's another ruin. Hopefully we can get to it before someone else. Have another luxury resource, so we might want to consider a settlement out here, especially with the mountain there. Might have a very nice observatory city later for a lot of science. And another luxury. So with 4 luxuries so far, we are looking pretty good shape, especially I could, if I really wanted to, have them both with one city, although I'd probably space it out. I like settling on hills and rivers, especially with that mountain there. The extra production early from settling on a hill can go a long way in the early game, and settling on or near rivers really helps with growth towards the middle and later game, as the fresh water tiles have a boost to the amount of food that they produce. Okay, now I have to make a decision with my scout out if I want to play a tradition game where I would typically settle 3 to 4 cities and try to grow them as tall as possible, meaning with as many population as I can get. Then I might not want to get a monument right away, because as one of tradition's policies, I will get a free culture building in my first 4 cities, so I could get that pretty quickly. Otherwise, if I want to go with any other opening social policy, I would probably want a monument here, so that way I can have a quicker game getting those social policies because I don't get the free monument later. I will hedge my bets and go with a monument. Typically in unmodded games at these higher difficulty levels, you almost always have to go tradition, but one of the things with the No Quitters mod is that it really changes these opening policies, especially to make them a little bit more competitive. I'll go into them later when I have my first policy choice, and in the meantime, see if there's anything else that might change my decision. Oh good, I got animal husbandry, allowing me to see my horses on the map, and that was probably my next tech I was going to go for anyway, so it's good to have that. Always better than getting a tech ruin, that finishes a tech that you have almost completed. Ooh, and she settled her second city right towards me. In Deity difficulty, the AI get a very good boost in addition to their free techs they get. I believe they get all or most of these initial techs. They get an additional settler, which is the real difference between Immortal and Deity difficulty. Seeing that she settled towards me, I'm guessing her capital is in this direction, but she's going to presume that my land is hers. I'll probably have to fight her pretty early.
Shall the clay?
Now with pottery done, I want to consider getting a shrine as soon as possible. There's a city-state that I would like to meet, and another. This is pretty good land. See how close we are to any other civilizations, but with gold there, both those other luxuries, I could probably fit in a good amount of cities in here. I want another coastal to have trade routes with my capital, but I might consider going Liberty to really fill out this space with cities. Now, I think I don't need mining right away for a luxury. I might want to go for these fishing boats early. So let's go with sailing next. Babylon, a terrific science civ, a real threat. Oh, hello to you too, Nebuchadnezzar. One of the differences with the No Quitters mod, they did nerf Babylon slightly, and typically they get a free Great Scientist with writing. In the mod in version 10, they bumped that back to philosophy, so not quite as terrifying as he usually is with his science game. Let's meet our city-states. Prague, a cultural city-state, and La Venta, a faith-based city-state. Another difference with the mod is that you do not get the free faith boost when you meet a faith city-state. That has been removed to lessen how quickly some players get a pantheon on the chance that they meet a faith city-state first. Seeing as we had scouts in this direction and in this direction, let's keep moving up the middle, and hopefully we can find another ruin or two before they are all gone. The AI is usually not the best at finding them. No thank you, Maria.
So I cannot.
Once in a while you'll find some in the corners, even later in the game, but for the most part, I'm sure they'll clear this area pretty quickly. Oh, there's her scout, which got upgraded into an archer, so she got one there. There we go. Finally, a tile with more than just 2 food. Let's go with a shrine quickly, I think. Let's see, yes, I can work some different tiles to get that quicker. And I'm not quite so interested in growing fast. I'll grow plenty after I get my lighthouse up. India. They're always an interesting civilization. They're one of the few civilizations with an actual, instead of just pure benefits to their abilities, they actually have a disability in that their happiness takes a big hit when they first settle a city. They are twice as much unhappiness. There's a city generated when they first settle a city, but per citizen, it only costs half as much unhappiness. So later in the game, as their cities get taller, they can really take off. Babylon's right there, India's right there. You might want to consider not going with the Liberty plan and just spamming cities into this area. It's actually a lot more contested than I had realized. That is his second city, so he is probably also moving towards me. But there is India's capital, so let's hope that he's not moving in this direction as well. Now for our first real decision with the No Quitters mod. As I mentioned, the social policies have been changed. Tradition is mostly kept the same. It's actually reverted to what it was before the most recent update to Vanilla Civilization, where the culture building has been moved back into the second policy that you can take in this first tier. With aristocracy, with the production boost to wonders and the happiness, that is the same. Same with the landed elite culture and food growth. Monarchy is the same. Oligarchy does not have the maintenance cost removal for garrisoned units anymore. That has in fact been moved somewhere over here in honor, I believe. Garrison units cost no maintenance, yes. So you can't save gold that way, but you do still get your free additional combat strength with garrison, and now, similar to the free culture buildings, tradition gives you free walls in your first force city to really help defend against some of the early pushes with say, against a Liberty player who has very fast early production. So tradition is always good if you want to plan for a really tall, science-based long game, but the real changes are with Liberty, Honor, and Piety. Liberty has been given a boost, not a ton. It's still very similar to what it was before, but it was never quite on par with tradition. In addition to the one culture per city, it also provides one gold, as gold was always a problem with a Liberty civilization, so that will help still have the production boost per city and the free settler and faster settlers with collective rule. Over here, we still have citizenship with a free worker, representation with a golden age and reduced culture cost per city, and meritocracy, in addition to providing +1 happiness and the percentage-based unhappiness reduction, also once again provides more gold from city connections. So that's the other big change with both these. Over here with tradition, the finisher is the same, the 15% growth boost and free aqueducts in 4 cities, but Liberty, in addition to the Great Person, also gets a tremendous bonus. All cities gain 50% production towards natural wonders and 15% production towards any building for that national wonder, so that can really help push through those early buildings that you need to get for those national wonders. That's your monument, that is your barracks if you need them, but less often. It's your library, your market, and your workshop, maybe a few others. Honor and piety were always a problem in vanilla Civ. They could never quite compete with these two policies. Honor, especially for multiplayer games, has been boosted so that you can really actually use this as a full policy to go into first. It gets all kinds of bonuses. In addition to the combat bonus versus barbarians and barbarian encampments that you had in vanilla Civ, the culture gain is not just for barbarians anymore, it is for each unit, including your opponents, and the Statue of Zeus is no longer a honor-locked World Wonder, but Temple of Artemis is instead in its place. Here's a big change with Warrior Code. You get 4 maintenance-free units and 2 free warriors, and now those kills, in addition to culture, give you gold. You'll see a bit of a trend here. As the finisher, you will also get science. So if you really want to play a war game, that can really make up for the fact that you might have a smaller economy with your cities, but your units can do a good job at and just war through the countryside, gaining you gold and culture and science. Professional army, your military experience bonus buildings build faster and provide production, culture, and gold boosts. With military cast, your garrison units, like I said before, cost no maintenance. They also give +1 happiness and +2 culture, and courthouses provide more happiness, meaning that there's less of a cost to taking those cities. And in fact, with military tradition, courthouses provide food, production, and gold boosts, making courthouses really powerful. So if you're an honor player with lots of neighbors close to you, you might really want to let them build the city so you can take them after, because they can really be quite powerful. And finally, with discipline, this was a ability combined several abilities from vanilla Civ, where your land units get combat strength, and instead of just being next to each other, here it's just a flat percentage bonus, and they also gain more experience. Like I mentioned, you gain science from kills with the honor finisher, and you free Great General like you used to have, but Great Generals also have an additional 2 movement, making them very powerful. And finally, piety has also really been boosted. If you want a strong religion game, this all but guarantees it, except I'm guessing against the AI in the higher difficulties. They tend to like piety themselves, and with all their other bonuses, I'm guessing even with piety, it might be hard to keep up. One thing you do not want to do is go into piety and getting locked out of having a religion. That would certainly suck. With the opener, gives you +1 culture and faith in the capital, and allows you to build your shrines and temples in half the time, so you can get that culture or that faith rolling, right away, and some culture to make up for the fact that the culture is generally going to be pretty slow outside of your free culture with tradition. Organized religion gives you additional culture and faith for your shrines and temples. Mandate of Heaven gives a faith boost just in the capital, and that discount from vanilla of reduced cost for religious units and buildings. Religious Tolerance gives you happiness for each temple, and incorporates the shared pantheon belief bonus from vanilla. With Theocracy, you can get a nice gold boost from your shrines and temples. Holy sites give extra gold, and as you'll start to see a trend in piety, there's big boosts to the Grand Temple, the national wonder for temples. Here it gives a gold boost output, a gold output boost, and with Reformation, this is really the strong one in piety, the real reason to go into it. You get +2 science from each temple, a science bonus from the Grand Temple that's half as much as a national college. It's a really strong boost, and you get your Reformation belief. Finally, with a finisher, you get a free Great Prophet and 4 hammers production from the Grand Temple, and then there's a boost to holy sites in both food and culture. So all very strong. As I mentioned before, has some really close neighbors, especially down here, with Austria moving towards me, Babylon coming in from the north. They're probably going to be landing their 3rd settler before I even get my second one out. Let's make it interesting. I have those early Greece units. Let's go for an honor game. And with that, I will end my first section part of this Let's Play. Thank you for watching.